Good evening, good evening. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Seeing Lucians for YLAI. My name is Michelle Samuel, and I am so happy to be your host for this evening. We have a wonderful, and I repeat, a wonderful session planned for all of you, and I cannot wait to share it with you all. I am going to be sharing with you stories. I'm going to be sharing with you experiences, and you're also going to hear from some other individuals who themselves as well have stories to share. It is an amazing opportunity. It's an amazing experience. And I hope and pray that everyone who is watching, who is listening, will be intrigued, will be inspired, and will want to know more. That is the goal. I invite each of you, if you have not yet done so, to invite someone. Share the link, ask them to join the session, particularly if you know this person is interested in business, if this person is an entrepreneur, if this person is an aspiring entrepreneur, if they are an entrepreneur at heart, or if this person is a supporter of the startup ecosystem, if this person is a leader in the system, if this person is a member of a funding organization, of a financial institution, whatever important role that this person plays, I implore you to have them to join us this evening. This is an event they should not be missing. It is an event that they will regret missing if they do. Though some of you are watching on YouTube, yes, the event, you can come back and watch the replay as often as you like, but there's something special about tonight's session that I am going to ask you not to miss and to stay to the end, because we have some interesting information to share that you will find very valuable. Some resources, links, as well as a little trivia where you can win wonderful prizes from one of our alumni. So I ask again that you share this link with your contacts, share this link on your social media page, and ask somebody to join us. Okay? So without further ado, I'm going to just share with you a little bit about what you're watching this evening. So this event is St. Lucians for YLAI. This is what you are currently watching, and I welcome each and every one of you. Now, the St. Lucians for YLAI program is very near and dear to my heart. But before I go into it, I want to give you a little bit of a backstory about myself and about why it is that you are here today. So, my name is Michelle Samuel, as I stated earlier, your host for this evening, and I am also a very proud, very proud, I state again, 2017 YLAI Alumna. Tonight, we'll celebrate, and I'm talking about celebrating the entrepreneurial spirit that drives us all St. Lucians. We are celebrating our YLAI Fellows, and we're also celebrating our YLAI Alumni. We're going to hear their stories, and we're going to share insights, as I stated before. And you're also going to learn a little bit more about the YLAI Fellowship Program. But before we dive into it, let us start with a word of prayer. Father, Lord, I want to thank you so very much for the breath of life that we have, the breath of life that you've given us. It is because of you that we have everything that we do today. I want to say thank you. I invite your presence as we're about to have this session, have this discussion. I ask that you speed up the process of those who are on their way. And I also ask and pray that you be in the midst of this proceedings and allow it to move smoothly along, Lord. This I ask and I pray. Amen, and amen. Now, I think that perfectly sets the tone for our discussion this evening. Now, as I stated, I wanted to start by sharing some pertinent information about myself and a little bit of my backstory. So, I am the founder and CEO of SLUDTERA Inc. and M&S Consultancy. SLUDTERA is a business development and social impact consulting firm. Services include social impact consulting, CSR advisory, training workshops, business education and skills training, and CSR projects that we run throughout the year. We typically work alongside and work with businesses as well as agencies and corporate companies. We do from time to time assist startups. With M&S Consultancy, I provide individuals, particularly social entrepreneurship, which is near and dear to my heart, transparent and consistent support. I leverage my expertise and my extensive network to provide tailored guidance from ideation to startup stage. My suite of services include intro, idea mapping, actioning, nurturing, catalyzing, and reconditioning. And now I'm going to share some information about the program that we are here for this evening, the YLAI Fellowship. Let's find out a little bit more about this particular program that you're here for this evening. So the YLAI Fellowship program is annual. It's an annual exchange, and it's usually catered towards 280 young business and social professionals. Typically, that's the number of persons that are selected on an annual basis from across 37 countries, across the regions of Latin America, the Caribbean, and as of recently added, Canada. In the beginning, it was only focused on Latin America and the Caribbean, but a few years later, I believe it was in 2019 or so, Canada was added to the list. So welcome, Canadians. Now, these are individuals who are matched with businesses and organizations across the United States. In addition to the entrepreneurial leadership training that persons receive prior to the fellowship, the YLAI Fellows also learn to build new skills. They learn to share best practices and forge commercial ties. And let me tell you, in the life of a startup, that is key and it's extremely important. Okay, it goes without saying, it's extremely important. Yeah. So I'm going to just go into a little bit about what you can, or what I should say, my experience was like in the fellowship. So in this particular fellowship, I took part in the year 2017. And in that year, it was just an amazing experience. And I say that to say because I embarked on such a transformative experience. And my life has never been the same since. In the month of October, I traveled to Atlanta, Georgia. There were over 250 persons in that room when we all met together, and it was a surreal experience. We came together because there was something happening around that time that really impacted all of us, though we came from various countries across the regions. Around that time, it was hurricane season that had impacted several islands, and it was Dominica. That was one of the islands that was sort of worst affected in the region at the time. And there were 3 fellows who were scheduled to make that trip to YLAI. And because of the damage of Hurricane Maria had impacted on the island of Dominica, it was not certain that they could travel, or that they could be part of the fellowship, or that they could even make it out of Dominica. It was not certain. It was not guaranteed. And after several days of waiting, the word reached me that the 3 fellows would not be joining us in Atlanta. And I was so disheartened. I was so saddened. And I immediately felt the urge to do something about it. I don't know what it was, but something was driving me to do something. What I could possibly do, I don't have a clue. I don't own a plane. I don't have any political connections to reach out to persons in Dominica because, of course, communication was almost at a zero. How was I going to do anything about that? But as God would have it, I was able to connect with someone in a different island who knew of a young lady who did drop-offs and pickups in Dominica. And this particular person led a non-profit organization, and she was the one providing relief by dropping off supplies, water, food, and so on to persons from Barbados, from the embassies, and so on to other islands and to Dominica. And so I connected with this young lady and I asked her to do me a humongous favor. I asked her to find those 3 fellows and bring them to Barbados. Even if it's with the clothes on their backs, as long as they get to Barbados, we will figure out the rest. And I don't know how it happened. I honestly don't know. She was able to locate 2 of the 3 fellows. One person could not be located. I'm not sure if it was that her home was completely damaged and they just could not find her. They were not sure if she was still alive. They had difficulty locating her, but they were able to identify 2 of the 3 individuals. And they made it to Barbados. Now, I share this with you and tell you the embassy was not expecting them because the decision had already been made that they would have sat that year out. But I was determined. And so I set out on a mission number 2 to have the remaining 247 fellows sign a petition to allow the 3 fellows to take part in the 2017 fellowship. And I am happy to say that every single petition was signed. And by the grace of God, the embassy overturned their decision and they decided to allow the fellows to participate. They decided to provide them with support, to get them clothes, and whatever materials that they would need in order to participate. They would arrive a day late, but they would be there. And so that already started me on a high. That already started me on a flowing of emotions. I was already on a high and I'm like, oh, wow, this is an amazing feeling. And I can't wait to meet these individuals. I can't wait to meet them. I had already studied every single profile of the fellows that would have been in that room because I wanted to connect with persons who had similar interests to me. And so I studied their profiles. And when that day came, I was able to meet those 2 Dominicans. And they were so grateful. They were so happy. The hugs that I got made me cry. We cried in each other's arms. They had never met me before. And this was the first time we were meeting. And the only thing that they could say was, thank you. Thank you. I don't know how you did it, but thank you. And let me tell you, this is God. God made it possible. By the grace of God, they made it. And this was just the start of many, many more things to come. The next stage was connecting with my group, the group that I would be traveling out of Atlanta, Georgia with to Kansas City. So it was 9 of us in this group. And we connected off the bat. We just clicked. And this is the picture of us here We arrived in Kansas City and we got to meet our placement organization. They were in charge of connecting us with the organizations that we would be working with for the next 4 weeks. And that was Global Ties KC and its team. So this is us really just having fun, taking photos, and just enjoying each other. We learned so much from our culture. We learned about each other, what our likes were, what our dislikes, and of course, what we were so excited about in the fellowship. It was something that we were all looking forward to. And my placement was with the Full Employment Council. The Full Employment Council is the official public workforce system designated by the United States Department of Labor and the state of Missouri. So it's led by Mr. Clyde McQueen, and their services include skills training, paid internships, on-the-job training, apprenticeships, and so on. So that exposure allowed me to see and to learn various operations that did not yet exist in St. Lucia, because at the time, my business was an employment agency. And I learned a lot from this organization. I learned a lot from the networking opportunities that they exposed me to, and also their own connections, which I still maintain today. It was just an amazing experience. My supervisor, who was Mr. Daniel Smith, he ensured that every Wednesday he took me to an event that took place at the Kaufman Foundation, the Kaufman Center. And that event took me by surprise. I mean, every aspect of this YLAI Fellowship just had me in awe. 1 Million Cups was the name of this particular event. I had never seen an event that embodied support, camaraderie, and just have an entire room of persons willing to help, willing to lend a hand at no cost. It was such an environment that I had never seen before. And I felt to myself, how could we get this back home? How could we get this back home? That was my thought. So I went there every Wednesday and I learned and I connected and I made friends. But not just that, the cultural experience was also phenomenal. Going to various events, basketball games, as in the photo you see there, going to an orchestra symphony. I had never in my life been to an orchestra. I'd seen it on television, but I'd never been to one. That was such an amazing experience. I got to go to a jazz club where several actors had been, and I saw their signatures on their photos. I was like, oh wow, I felt like I was in a movie. It was just an amazing experience. One that I will remember every single day of my life. Aside from that, the other fellows that I connected with, we each came from families that were very close, and we looked out for each other. We did a lot of activities together, and we always shared everything, even down to our laundry detergent. We shared everything. It was a wonderful, surreal experience. And networking was the name of the game for us. Networking was key. We had to network. There is worth and value in network. And so we built our network by connecting with others. And not just that, I did not neglect my spiritual walk. I went to church and I befriended a pastor of an SDA church, Beacon Light SDA church, as a matter of fact. And I enjoyed service every Sabbath. It was an amazing experience. And a church member befriended me and took me home to lunch. And that's us in the top right-hand corner there. She introduced me to her best friend, and she opened up her home to me. One of the things that I can say about KCMO, that's the acronym for Kansas City, Missouri, for KCMO people, they are so very friendly, so very friendly and welcoming. They love meeting new people. They love showing you things. They love introducing, their culture and their lives to you and their families. Wow. Wow. It was such a difference than what I would have seen growing up day to day. It was an amazing experience, and I do not regret ever going there. I think that was the best place that I could have been sent. I 100% do not regret going there. And it really opened up my mind and my heart to what was possible. And if this is possible there, then it can be possible elsewhere, back home especially. And what I was looking forward to, at the time, was bringing back that type of camaraderie, support, and engagement that I saw in 1 Million Cups. And so this particular program just planted a seed in me. And for that, I decided to replicate it in St. Lucia. And that was done with the launch of Startup Huddle St. Lucia in November of 2018. I was determined to spread the word about YLAI. And I did so at each Startup Huddle event that I hosted. YLAI had opened such a door to opportunities and experiences that I never thought possible, really never thought possible. And I'll explain what that means. You'll see what I mean by that. So after the fellowship, this is what happened to me. So I know it looks kind of jumbled up a bit there, but this is the experiences that happened to me after the fellowship. So I was able to serve as a judge. I served as a judge in the 2018 Young Women's Transform Grand Competition, the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition from 2019 to 2023, the 2019 Global Entrepreneurship Summit, the National Idea Pitch Competition screening for Invest St. Lucia, the 2021 Entrepreneurship World Cup Caribbean, and YLAI Selection Committee from 2021 to 2024. This is what YLAI opened up the door for me. But wait, there's more. And even then, memberships and appointments that I was able to get as a result of this fellowship. Membership in the YLAI Network. I became a Startup Huddle Global Mentor. I became a member of the Global Innovation through Science Technology Initiative, or GIST Tech. The U.S. Department of State's International Exchange Alumni. And also the Global Entrepreneurship Network. Aside from that, I received numerous awards, such as the 2019 Gen Compass Ecosystem Champion nomination. I was also recognized as the 2020 Stone of Hope, well, one of those that was called the Stone of Hope recognition from the U.S. Embassy Barbados. A 9-time International Exchange Alumni Grant recipient. Yes, you heard right, 9 times. 2018 to 2019 feature in the Yellow Telephone Directory. 2021 YLAI Catalyst Challenge Award, most collaborative event, and several written endorsements from reputable professionals. And I am telling you that there are opportunities out there that you do not know about. And these are some of them. I will be sharing the links to all of them with you in the chat. So we have the Young Leaders of the Americas Initiative, or YLAI, Education USA, Bridge USA, International Visitor Leadership Program, Youth Ambassadors Program, several academic and professional exchanges. We also have grant opportunities, the Fulbright Foreign Student Program, the Fulbright Faculty Development Program, the Fulbright Humphrey Fellowship, various private scholarships, as well as the International Writing Program Fellowship. All of these programs that you see here are available and accessible to everyone in our region. If you did not know, now you know. And like I said, I will be sharing the links with all of these opportunities in the comment box in the chat with you so that you can have access to that information, because all of this information is extremely vital and valuable to you. Now we're going to take a brief break. And when we come back, we're going to hear from our first set of speakers, Miss Anja Ferdinand and Mrs. Miranda George Arthur. We're going to hear from them so we can hear a little bit about what their experience was like. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to meet up with Anja and Miranda.
The YLAI program is something intense, so I think that you make a lot of friendship and connections. My friends from Peru, Chile, Belize, they helped me not just in my life, but also in my professional life, in my projects, trying to work better and develop our countries together.
And we have impacted over 22 entrepreneurs, some of which are actually YLAI Network members. They have pitched at our events, they've made connections, and I'm glad to say that the program has impacted them in such a way that they're looking forward to more engagement and other events such as this.
It's a great opportunity to network as well, to share your ideas, to get feedback for your ideas as well, professional feedback as well, and to actually network with stakeholders that may help you, and you will be able to help them back as well with your businesses or organizations.
We have seen within the group a gradual culture shift from I need to succeed more towards we need to succeed. And I believe that is a direct result of some of the things that I've done differently after YLAI.
I think community is one of the greatest needs of human beings. So if you master that approach, you can change lives, your life, and change your business. Go out there, fight something to do, find a solution to those problems that are in your community. You can do it, and your community needs you.
We complain about things that could be changed, but we don't realize that change has to start with us. So if you would like to know how, and you're not sure, seek me out. I will be more than happy to share that information. Or you can go to ylai.state.gov to get more information. Join the YLAI Network now.
And there you have it, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to St. Lucians for YLAI. And please join me in welcoming Miranda, George Arthur, and Anja Ferdinand. Miranda and Anja, thank you for joining us. Let's start with brief introductions so that persons can get to know who you are, especially if they don't know. Could you please tell us, each of you, take a turn, what inspired you to apply for the fellowship? And then I would like you to also share just one key takeaway or transformative moment from your YLAI experience, kind of like what I shared earlier. So who would like to go first?
Miss Fernand can go ahead.
Oh, wow. Fernand, she volunteered you. She nominated you.
Hi, good night, everyone. My name is Anja Fernand. I'm the founder of Food Harmony Incorporated, and it's an agriculture and agro-processing business, focusing on using more of what we grow in St. Lucia. What inspired me to sign up for YLAI was interest in the business training, especially the training geared towards being a leader in our sector. I think there's a lot of work that has to be done and can be done in the Caribbean, and being exposed to environments and information that then helps us refine our products, our businesses, our delivery, our leadership is a great opportunity. Michelle, can you remind me what else you wanted us to cover?
Yeah, so basically a key takeaway of your YLAI experience that would have had a profound, transformative experience on you, impact on you.
So prior to departure for the US, we had quite a bit of online programs to go through. And obviously there's obvious to us, there's a pitch competition which focus on 8 different parts of your business, from strategy and team to legal matters, where you're encouraged to assess your business and where it stands, and getting into the practice or making that a practice after YLAI, but having gone through the process with YLAI about going into a practice of assessing my business, particularly strategy. But as we discovered through the process, once you get through your hurdles with one sector, then you can address others. So there's always a lot of effort or attention put on, marketing or sales, but then to look at your company holistically and to get to the root cause of some of the challenges and then being able to address that. So from a theory perspective, that was one of my key takeaways, but also being able to connect with others and to be exposed to the reality that there's an abundance of solutions and resources and opportunities that you can tap into. So striking up conversations with any of the over 200 people in the room once you get to the US, it's just it's an energy you have to be there to experience. But there's such a diverse group and interests and projects, and it's just amazing to be in that environment and getting goose flesh, where you get to interact with so many persons like yourself from all over the Caribbean, Latin America, and Canada, and to share your experiences and learn from each other and help each other. So
Yeah, definitely. I can concur exactly what you said. It being in there with so many people with all of this, what they call good vibes, great vibes, and everybody just has this fire to want to do something, to make an impact. It's just wow. Wow is the word I could use. I mean, it brings me back to 2017, but you were more recent, and things would have changed from 2017 to 2024 when you did the fellowship. There were a lot of changes, for example, to how things were done in terms of the pitch competition that you mentioned. Things were done a little differently in my time, where each group had to pitch, and a vote was taken on the best pitch in a live setting. And then from that live setting, it went into the pool of all the winners. And then persons would basically, a vote was taken on the best of all the winners, the 10, I think the top 10, I believe. And then those top 10 were the ones that would pitch on stage. And they would pitch, I think it was the top 10 or top 5, I can't recall. And those persons would pitch for 3 prizes, first, second, and third place. And they each would have gotten a check as an investment towards their program or initiative. So that's what it was in our times. But things would have changed at the time when you did your fellowship.
Yeah, well, I think that's the impression that I got, is that the program is like a living entity where it evolves year on year with the feedback and the experiences of the participants. Because with programs like that, the intention is for it to be as effective and useful as possible. So to get feedback and then to address the feedback for its evolution from year to year. So I can imagine there have been a lot of changes.
Yeah, definitely a lot. But it was really great to hear, the impact that it had on you, Anja.
I mean, there's the impact it has virtually, because it's a long time coming before you actually land in the US. So you connect with persons virtually through the networking sessions that YLAI sets up, and your group, your PEP group, which is part of the preparatory program. And then when you land, you meet a lot of similar people to your diverse group of entrepreneurs. But not only that, like you were saying, as you went to Kansas, I was in Burlington, Vermont, and to interact with the host organization that you're with, but all the other cultural, social, educational opportunities in that city and in the welcoming and finally departure cities as well. So, as with life, it is what you make of it, and you have to be focused, set your intentions so that you can see the opportunities and do research beforehand, see what you want
Yes.
to engage with.
And you have to be
So,
very deliberate as well, very deliberate in your actions and what you want to get out of it, or else you're going to have very many missed opportunities if you're not strategic in the decisions that you're making and what you hope to achieve from every interaction that you make. Yeah. Miranda, are you ready to share with us
Yes, I am.
experience and also your most memorable, key takeaway from YLAI?
Okay, so my name is Miranda George Arthur, and I'm the founder of Tektronites, and it is a place for business professionals seeking tools and resources for running their businesses, students who need training on software required to prepare projects and school-based assessments, and teachers who require training on online tools and platforms to enable them to be smart classroom ready. Um, this experience was one that was very memorable. It changed my whole perspective, my outlook on business itself. It places you in a position where you get to see things from a different perspective, a different outlook. It places you in a position where you experience a different culture from your own. And my most memorable part of YLAI, again, it started from our online for our onboarding before we went to Texas and then to our host cities. It was basically when they give us some material to go over, and there's this part where they ask you about yourself, to take this test about yourself, what type of leader you are. And it was so insightful. And these are the things that we do not look at. What type of person are you? What type of people do you connect with? Because these are the things that would basically lay the groundwork for how you work with other businesses, with clients, with your staff. And it was very, very impactful. And to this day, it's something that actually sticks with me. It's called the fourfold way. It stuck
Wow.
with me, and I actually use it every day. Um, you meet so many different people with so many different perspectives. Sometimes the problems that you are experiencing in your businesses or for yourself on a personal level, these fellows will get close to them because you're there with them for practically like 4 weeks, and then you have the other fellows you meet for 2 weeks out of these 6 weeks. And it's very transformative. That's all I could say. And in as small as St. Lucia is, I mean, Anja was my neighbor, and and traveling. It was the first time that we met, and then, I mean, we created a bond. So it goes a long way, I can say, in building bonds, building networks, and the opportunities that you get. It's important that you don't shy away from getting to know new people. I know some people are introverts, and they tend to close up sometimes, but it places you in a position where you have to network, that it's impossible for you not to get drawn into the excitement, the speakers, the activities that they pull you
Yeah.
into. It's different. It brings out something different in you. It helps you grow. Yeah. So that was my experience with YLAI.
I agree. Just a quick question, Miranda. Is your camera working? Just wanted to check in.
Not no, not at the moment because my network is not stable. So if I
Oh,
turn it on,
okay.
yeah, it'll start lagging.
Okay. Well, thankfully we can see your photo, so persons can
Yes,
see
that's
who
why I
you
put it up.
are.
Yes.
There's always the alternative. And
Yes.
you're the tech person, so if you can't fix it,
Yes.
then yeah, something
Yes.
definitely is up. So there's
Yes.
another person that is actually there apparently that was in part of YLAI 2024. I'm not sure if you familiar. I'm gonna put up her name here. Abigail Letts. Is she are you familiar with her?
Abigail. Abigail.
I see
I'm not
Anya
fully.
smiling away. Anya, do you recognize the name?
Um, yeah.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
I know I'm just laughing because I put it on LinkedIn just a second ago. So thanks for joining, Abigail. The thing is, when we left YLAI, we all connected on LinkedIn, and I swear my following doubled because of
Wow.
YLAI.
Yes.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. That happens a lot. She's actually joining from TT from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah,
Right.
Tobago. Oh
Yes.
yes, that's
Right. Yeah.
our Caribbean fellow.
Yes. Yes.
Pardon, my
Yes.
memory is not the strongest. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's also sharing, her experience as well, and what it was like. She says, it also helped her to be able to look at avenues for expanding information in the U.S. market. So
Yes.
that was
Yeah.
her key takeaway. So
And
again, thank you so much for sharing that, Abby.
yeah, and interestingly enough, I am actually working with my host organization. So
Nice.
it actually opened doors to things that you would not be able to do otherwise. I mean, I was able to open a US account. You get your tax number. There are so many things that
Yes.
perks that you get that you would not be able to access otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, she said she remembers you guys. Yeah, said she remembers. Like the
That's
memory is very vivid.
your tagline, let's
With
chat.
you guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
Thank you so much
there
for
were quite
joining us.
a few
Please, please,
people
please
from
have the
Trinidad.
other, if you have contacts with the other 2024 YLAI Fellows, have them join in. Have them join in as well. We want to hear from them.
But like Miranda was saying, there are so many opportunities. It's just like doors opening to doors. It's like a
Mhm.
China doll that never ends. You don't get to the end of it. Not a China, a Russian doll. And it's I find with the opportunities, again, it's what you make of it. So with YLAI, if there's only one program you do, it just continues to give because at the end, becoming an alumni, you access the alumni
Mhm. Mhm.
exchange
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Definitely. And the thing about it is that though your fellowship would have ended after a period of time, it itself never really ends. You never stop connecting, right?
No.
You get to join the network. You get to join, the community. You get to collaborate. And one of the
yes,
Yes.
things that they pride themselves on is continuity. Like post program, how are you guys going to continue to work together to find solutions to problems? Perhaps there are some certain best practices that other persons are doing that you can learn from them, and they can learn from you. Um, and one of the other things that I really love is the exchange opportunities. I mean, that in itself is a game changer for someone who is looking to make that connection outside of their island country and knowing that that connection exists and they can bring that person in to implement something that they would have written down or thought up. So nothing is far-fetched anymore, when you
Yes.
have opportunities like that, available to you. So I really love that about YLAI.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also get the opportunity to work on ideas that sometimes you may have feel that it's too big, and
Mm,
they teach you that it's not too big.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that they emphasize, that no dream is too big to achieve. And it gives you courage when you come back. Some of the ideas you may not have even thought of, when you come back, you say, okay, this is probably something I could do in my own community. And
Mhm.
that says a lot. It pushes borders, it gives you courage, it so many things.
Yes, yes, it really does. And there's no such thing as something that's too big for you. And I mean,
Mhm.
while I chose the perfect tagline, "Don't wait for change, create it," I live by
Yes.
that. I live by that every single day. And Anya, I'm very jealous. You're wearing your shirt, proudly. Um,
Yeah,
Me too.
my shirt no longer looks as, as crisp and sharp as
it
yours.
only comes out at certain times. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
but I would rock my YLAI shirt everywhere I went. I was that proud. I was literally
Yes.
that proud. It
It's a
was
good
just
way to
really
start
special.
conversation.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. It is a really great conversation starter. And I got stopped quite a few times asking, "Hey, what's that about?" And oh, my pleasure to tell you all about it. My pleasure. It was my pleasure. Yeah, so
Mhm.
I would like to thank both of you for sharing your experiences. In YLAI, we each had individual experiences that are very different, but very, very impactful, that not only changed our businesses, but our lives as well, even the way we connect with other people. And so we're going to take another little break. And when we come back, we are going to hear from the 2025 YLAI Fellows when we come back. So stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We will be back shortly.
The biggest takeaway for me from my YLAI experience is really the actual togetherness of the Caribbean community in the US. Coming from Jamaica, I wasn't quite expecting that. That really inspired me to actually make a change to my business, to actually also include some Caribbean products.
So we're extremely grateful to YLAI for those networking opportunities and for giving us the know-how as to how to scale our project to become sustainable.
I went to YLAI in 2017. What we focused on was markets, so the e-commerce platform, it wasn't done at that time yet. And I got amazing feedback from them also as to how we can actually improve them. The most awesome thing that I got back from them was investors that were actually interested in working with us in order to actually build and promote the company and make it actually bigger.
YLAI actually forced me to actually make a new hire, so for somebody who could manage the tasks that I would normally do while I was away on the program. So it really forced me to do something that I should have done, but I was a little scared to do. But having come back, I was also able to hire two more part-time persons, which I'm very happy about, because these are persons from my actual community. So I'm happy that I'm able to give them employment a few days a week.
I just loved the YLAI experience because that opportunity that I had to work with the nonprofit gave me that push to establish the nonprofit that I have back home.
All right, there we have it. Welcome back. This is Michelle, and you're watching St. Lucians for YLAI if you have just joined us. For those of you who stuck around, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Those of you who'll be watching the replay, I am hoping that you are loving it so far and that you will share this link with others that would benefit from this particular initiative. So we have currently Jordann, we have Tanzania, and we have Berlina. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the discussion this evening. Glad to have each of you with us. I would like each of you to take a turn and just introduce yourself, give a quick review or overview of your business, and we're going to take our discussion from there. So who would like to start?
I'll go first.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Berlina James. I'm also popularly known as Chef Dufari, my moniker. I'm the culinary director and chef at Foodscapades by Tafari. We're located in Marigo Bay. For now, we're, closed, doing a little bit of rebranding. But Foodscapades is basically a private chef dining service get at bringing the gourmet experience to St. Lucian cuisine. Foodscapades came about whilst I was working in the different hotels around St. Lucia. Tourists came, or guests, sorry, I'll not just say tourists. Guests came, asking for where they could find St. Lucian cuisine, St. Lucian dishes. So that is where, the idea came to me to present our cuisine on a grand scale to these guests who want to sample what St. Lucia has to offer. Because whenever you had a topic of food in the Caribbean, you would mostly hear Trinidad, Jamaica, Guyana, sometimes St. Lucia. So if you ask persons what's an authentic St. Lucian dish, they cannot tell you, apart from the green fig and saltfish, which is our national dish. So I said, okay, you know what? Let me present our cuisine to these guests, but let's do it in a way to make our cuisine fine dining. Our cuisine that when somebody sees a dish, like the way we prepare green fig and saltfish. So if we make croquettes from green fig and saltfish, and present that to them, they know croquettes, but they don't know it in green fig and saltfish form or breadfruit, and stuff, just like backs, the way we cook our one pot. So let's give them backs a la fig, make it gourmet, make it nice. So that is where Foodscapades came about. We are not a full-blown restaurant, but we do private chef services to persons catering, and we also travel a lot. It is, really hard to get me in St. Lucia because majority of the time persons from abroad, when they come here, they taste our cuisine, they actually book me to go in their country with them. So this is what Foodscapades is about. And I am hoping from this YLAI experience that, I'm able to network a bit more and actually put St. Lucia cuisine on the map, extending on what chefs like Chef Nina Compton started to do, so that is my goal for my business right now.
Oh my God. So I tell you, you're a celebrity and you're telling me no? And you're telling me no? The people
No way,
taking a
I'm
risk
not
to
reached
your
that
country,
stage.
you're telling me no? Berlina, what you just shared is just absolutely amazing. And those persons who are in the culinary and food and beverage industries listening to you are going to want your number. They're going to want to connect with you to find out how did you do this or how can they accomplish what you have accomplished. So get ready for those, influx of contacts, trust me. And who's going to go next? Tanzi or Jordann? Who's going to go next?
I can go next.
Awesome. Let's hear from you, Tanzi.
All right. So, hi everyone. I'm Tanzania Mafre Fede. I am a dedicated entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, and generational wealth creator from St. Lucia. I am the co-founder and operations chief for Safi Estate Agritourism Park. It's a social enterprise that integrates sustainable agriculture, ecotourism, and innovative practices. Our mission is to transform our community through impactful initiatives in land management, food preservation, waste management, and renewable energy. By focusing on these areas and including the upskilling and job creation, especially for the marginalized and at risk boys, we aim to empower these individuals by fostering food security, poverty alleviation, and environmental sustainability. For me, the excitement about becoming a YLAI finalist in the fellowship for 2025, it excited me because it offers unparalleled access to the resources that I am not able to get locally. And most times when the idea was pitched, they would say, "Oh my God, you have 27 acres of land. That's a big business." So the fact that when I pitched YLAI and they explained how the process works and the mentorship, leadership skills training, and the funding opportunities, could actually help me expand and reach the impact of my agritourism park venture. I was very eager, and till today, I'm excited. I've already collaborated with like minded entrepreneurs in my PEP group. Imagine you're featuring us today, but we've already started networking, and I can't wait to really learn best practices. I just found out where my city is going to be, so I'm pretty much excited that it's New Orleans and
Woo!
the city of jazz and
Yes,
Creole.
girl.
I was sad, but I was like, New Orleans, why? It's like I told him I don't want any alligators or anything crazy, but I'm looking at New Orleans history and just understanding, but why was I placed there? And I'm like, God, so their sustainable development and the way they've expanded their resources, because it's similar to St. Lucia's climate as well. So it's hot, it's humid, and whatever grows there, it could pretty much be matched. And whatever they're doing now with their culinary, their agritourism, I'm looking to explore, innovative ways and amplify our work here in preserving our resources and promoting community resilience. So that's it for me.
Excellent, excellent. So, Tanzi, you basically just shared with us a scope of what you're working on, and it does sound massive. Trust me, it sounds massive. So you have undertaken something as grand as this, and it's very similar to as grandeur as Anja has undertaken to what she's trying to do. And I'm actually noting a lot of similarities in what you guys are looking or trying to do. I can pick and look at each of you side by side and pull quite a few similarities in what it is that you're doing. And I'm hoping that by listening to each other, you can actually pull those similarities as well and see, hey, we're doing something similar. Let's talk.
Of course. And I'm not shying away from the collaboration because during the time I found out about my spot as a finalist, I accepted the Startup Huddle local coordinator position, which is it ties
Finally.
to the U.S. The government. So the Global Entrepreneurship Network. When I mentioned that at my interview at YLAI, they were pretty much excited. And while speaking to the officers, they were telling me, well, using the flagship program, you're able to also find resources for members of Startup Huddle in St. Lucia.
There you
So I'm
go.
excited that it's not just Safi Tours, Nature Hike and Campgrounds. They also added T&D marketing, which is my baby, my dream, as that's what I specialize in. They added T&D to the list under my fellowship. So I'm going to be handling two aspects, which is not just focusing on ecotourism, but how I can advance in marketing, as well as with my Startup Huddle family in St. Lucia. Proud to bring them along with me, and 300 youth registered already. We're excited.
Excellent. I love hearing this. And let's hear from Jordann. Jordann, tell us a bit about what you're doing and also what excites you about this fellowship.
My name is Jordann Norbert, and I am the CEO and founder of my social enterprise, Eco Food Training and Certification Agency. And basically, we are, as I said, a social enterprise and business provider of sustainable solutions within the hospitality, hotel, food and beverage industry in general. We specialize in helping businesses within the sector reduce food waste, promote responsible practices within the industry, and we offer a comprehensive range of training programs, consultancy services, and working on our certifications tailored to meet the specific needs of businesses within the hotel, restaurant, and catering industry specifically. We do some cross-sectional work in the agricultural sector as well, because one of our mandates is to promote the stronger linkages between the agricultural sector and the hotel and food and beverage industry. We also provide support to vulnerable groups within our communities, such as young people, unemployed persons, youth, women, and as of late last year, persons who fall under the special needs category, in helping them attain culinary skills, sustainable culinary skills, and helping them venture into the workforce. So yeah, that's it basically from me in terms of eco-food and what we do. I actually applied for YLAI the first time in 2021, I think it was. Yeah, I applied twice before. And those two times, I think the first time I think was during COVID. And, at the time I just couldn't follow through with it for personal reasons. And then the second time when I applied, it was like a family issue. So I couldn't really continue. I mean, I was selected to go through to the interview stage, but up until that stage, I had to decline it. And then I said last year, okay, this is literally going to be my last year, so I have to apply this time. So I did apply, and I was so happy to have made it through everything. This initiative that I have, it's something that has been with me for many years. I was an educator for almost 10 years, a TVET educator, specifically food, nutrition, and health. And I've always had a passion for sustainability, but particularly within the hotel and food and beverage sector. I saw that there was a need for sustainability to be embedded into the industry, to tackle all these issues that we're having, such as food security, food waste, and all of that. So my mission has actually grown and become larger over the past almost 2 years now, where I am now looking to transform our food systems in the Caribbean to make it more sustainable. I have developed the region's first sustainable certification program for the hotel, restaurant, and catering industry, which I'm really, really happy about. It took a while for me to really get it together, but I did it. And now I'm in the process of partnering with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards and other entities to help really push it forward. So I believe that being a part of YLAI will really help me in making even more connections, probably, hopefully, fingers crossed, get some kind of investment to help develop even further. I really want to learn. I want to see what other entrepreneurs have, like what their business is about. The PEP group that I am in, we have already met, and it's, of course, it's very similar to what I am doing. They're all in sustainability in the food industry. And, it's just really, really exciting. And I'm looking to grow and learn a lot from the experience.
Nice. Very, very nice. And Jay, you shared quite a bit of, what it is that you are doing, what you have been able to accomplish. And the thing is that this fellowship is going to open even more doors for you that you have not even foreseen. There is a song, not a song specifically, there is a gospel singer that came to mind when you were speaking, and her name is Tasha Cobbs. And I love her music. And there's one particular song that I remember listening to, and she said something towards the ending of the song, and right away, I'm just literally hearing her saying this in her head, to you, Jordann, and to you, Tanzania. And she's saying, the thanks and the praise you're giving now, that's for what you see. But there's something out there, like when you expect your gifts from your parents for Christmas, and you got the gifts and you're like, oh, thank you, mama, thank you, mama. But then they tell you there's something out there much bigger than what you've just seen. And when you reach out, they'll be like, oh my god, like, and you have to give that kind of freak out type of expression. That's the type of praise you're going to give when you see what YLAI is going to open up for you. You have not even seen it yet. You are basking in it now, but you haven't even seen it yet. You haven't begun to see it. And God is good. I'm telling you, God is good. And I know you shared that you've already started connecting with your pep group and, started making connections and so on. But what is one thing, aside from what you've already mentioned, in terms of what to expect when you finally arrive, hit the ground in the US? What is one thing that excites you the most about this fellowship? I want to hear that from each of you. So let's start with Berlina. Berlina, can you share one thing that really excites you about landing in the US for that fellowship? What are you looking forward to?
Well, I myself, I'm an introvert, so I'm looking forward to getting out of my shell. Like when I speak to persons, like because I also host cooking shows and stuff, I am behind a camera. I am not in person. So large groups and stuff like that actually scares me. I don't do the crowds. So if I work with persons, you would hear like who did that, and they'll tell you Berlin, or they'll tell you Chef Tafari. I'm always a behind the scenes person. So I'm looking forward to actually networking and actually coming out of that shell, being able to mingle with persons, to actually hold conversations in person rather than always being behind a screen. And I just want to work as my host country is New Orleans as well, and I know it has a rich cultural heritage, Creole culture heritage. So I am looking forward to actually interacting with a lot of food places, food businesses that actually has the same goal as me, the same mission as me. Let's see how we can actually put St. Lucian cuisine on that map.
Yes, yes. I love that. I love that. Being an introvert is something that comes with the territory of being guarded. And I was the very same way. I was not somebody you would find in the front seat of a room. I would quicker sit to the back and just observe. But YLAI quickly made me understand that this is not a place for you to stay in one place. You have to be out there. You have to extend yourself, especially if you want to achieve what you're looking to achieve. You have to take that step. It may feel slightly uncomfortable, but it's when you are uncomfortable, you're able to make the biggest steps forward. So I do believe that YLAI will do that for you. And I think within the circle of friends that you are with in your other fellows, you will have more than enough support, to help build up that confidence when you land there. I truly, truly believe that. Am I right, Tanzi and Jay?
Definitely.
Yeah. So who's gonna go next? What is one thing you're really looking forward to?
Well, for me, what excites me the most is I am a lover of people, and networking is my number one forte. So,
Ah, I see somebody holding your hand already, Berlina.
so just place me in a stadium if you want to. I guarantee you I'll come out with almost the whole room. So, yes, for me, it's being in a room with visionary leaders and getting to learn from them, because it's one thing to be in a room where the energy can really kill the life out of you. And I'm in a phase in my development where I cannot have any doubt or fear. And I believe that this fellowship program would definitely place me in a place where I'm able to really navigate with like-minded individuals and access cutting-edge resources, mentorship, and real world, real life, invaluable insights and scaling
Mhm.
my business.
I agree. I agree 100%. And Belina, she's correct. Everywhere that I have been and I've seen Tanzi, she knows how to pull a room. She knows how to pull a room. I'm telling you. So she is the perfect person to pair up with and to help coach you into opening up and being able to network effectively. She is the perfect person for that. I'm telling you.
Belina, I have to tell you, there was one experience we had, Michelle and I, at the last youth forum, Youth Economy Agency hosted.
Mm-hmm.
And We were in the toilet having a discussion about an opportunity.
We were having a meeting in the toilet.
In the toilet, because you know what? Wherever you can network in that event, take advantage.
Yes, even in the toilet.
Yeah. I am making introductions in the bathroom. Some people walked in from Sufra and they were like, we were looking for you everywhere and you're having a meeting in the toilet. Berlina, the mission was we're not living there without having a list of prospects. We can approach business. And it took going to the washroom, going, I believe
doesn't
that
matter where we are going to make those connections. Yes, that's the mission.
We will thrive in 25.
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, it may sound crazy to you, but I mean, think about it. The number of people you come across in a washroom, especially if it's somebody that you were trying to meet out there and the person is in the washroom. So you're not going to introduce yourself. Hello, that's the elevator right there. Let's go. We're having a meeting. So we would take that opportunity. So we met, we were having a discussion and everything. There was nothing like, I mean, hygiene. Yes, we washed our hands. Yes, we took note of all of these things, but we were talking. We were having a conversation. So take note of, I'm not telling you go into a washroom. I'm not telling you follow anybody into a washroom to talk to them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that if the opportunity presents itself, in your most informal, sociable way, just say hi, like, oh, hi, I really wanted to, to speak to you out there, but I'm seeing you in here, like, that's God. And so my name is, start the conversation. I mean, yeah, and you work it out from there. I mean, that may not be the best place for it, but it starts the conversation. So now, let's hear from you, Jay.
Sorry, before Jay go ahead. Now, just that actually reminds me of when I was doing Startup Hurdle. That was one of the things that was taught in pitching. You take that opportunity to sell yourself and your business in just a few minutes or few seconds that you have with the person. Now, if it's in the washroom, you got to do that quickly so that the person can go ahead about their business. So at least they remember, hey, I met so-and-so in the washroom and she was speaking about her business. So that's a way to sell yourself. So that's really good. That's nice.
Yep. That's right, Miranda. Pitch Perfect. Yeah, that's the name of the course. That's it, Pitch Perfect. So Jay, let's hear from you.
Before you go on, Jay, Berlina, make sure you're following Startup Hurdle and you're registered. All right, I heard you.
Yeah,
I did. I actually did.
Okay. Yeah, so for me, I think what I'm looking forward to the most is learning about, first of all, the organization that I'm going to be working with. The thing about it is, because one of my services that I offer is consultancies for sustainability challenges and so on in businesses within the sector that I serve, I find myself being drawn. I actually like hearing some of the challenges that some of the other entrepreneurs are having, because sometimes I'm able to give some insight. Right? This actually happened in our first PEP meeting. I don't know what it was, but I got so excited hearing about some of the challenges that the entrepreneurs were having and being able to give my input. Right? So I'm really looking forward to sharing as much as I can in terms of my knowledge and expertise. I mean, I wouldn't say that I am like the most, like I know the most, but whatever I know, I also want to be able to share that with others. Right. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. I'm also looking forward to, I'm actually going to Detroit, Michigan. Honestly, I'm not gonna tell no lie. I was a bit disappointed.
Why do you keep hearing that?
I was, because so honestly, Detroit is like one of those cities that has had it rough in the States. Like they're one of those cities that, go through a lot in terms of
I'm going to put you on the spot there. I'm going to put you on the spot there. just a few seconds ago, you said you want to hear all the problems, right?
Yes. Okay, so
So let's
listen,
get
right?
into the
Listen,
city of
right?
the problems. Yes, that's what you asked for.
Okay,
Be
so
careful what you
listen.
ask for.
So listen, right? So hear that, right? So when when I found out, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm being honest, I was disappointed. But then when I started doing my research, I started to see, oh, Michigan is one of those states that is on, like, they are rebuilding themselves, right? There a lot of new tech companies are going into Detroit, Michigan, like they are on a transformational journey. And I was like, oh, this is not so bad. Like, I can work with this, and they actually have a sustainability business network. So I was excited about that too for that state. They have a lot of initiatives pertaining to sustainability within the food industry, urban farming, in the city. Like it's very vibrant when it comes on to the food sector and business and tech. And tech is one of those areas that I eventually want to venture into, in helping solving some of the issues within the industry. So after a while, like, I just changed and I was like, okay, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Nice, nice. And the thing is, sometimes when you hear, the state where you're going, you typically don't get what you wish for. Because I think that was
Yeah.
the same thing across the board from my year as well. Because I was not happy about going to Kansas City, trust me. That was the last place. I was expecting to go New York or Washington. Y'all sending me Kansas City in the middle of
Yes,
water. What? I was just, I honestly thought I was being sent on a place with just farms and tumbleweeds everywhere. That's what I was expecting. But then I got a rude awakening. I went to the entrepreneurial states of the states, and I was in the best place ever.
Wow.
And I oh my
Wow.
God, God knows. I'm telling you, God knows. And even if
Yep.
you were put in a place where that doesn't sit too well with you, because of course there were a handful of people that it did happen to. They were placed in an organization that really didn't mesh well with them. What they did
Yeah.
was that they made the best of the networking
Yeah.
opportunities, and through the
Yes.
networking opportunities, then they connected with the people that they really wanted to actually have in the network. So they made the most of it. And
Yeah.
that's what we basically have to learn to do. And taking
Yeah.
the initiative to take that additional step. Because yes, the team in IREX, they done their job and their due diligence about trying to match us as best as possible.
Yeah.
However, you have to now take the initiative to go a step further and see what else can I do, who
Yeah.
else can I connect with, where else can I expand or go to, and you just simply have a conversation with them and say, am I permitted to? And you ask the question. The most they can say is no, and give you a reason, but at least you try and see what's available there to you. So again, I want to thank each of you for sharing. Now we're going to take another break, our final break, and when we come back, we are going to have all of our fellows and alumni on this channel. They're going to actually be discussing the upcoming fellowship. The 2025 fellows are going to be able to ask the 2024 alumni about insights, best practices, advice, and anything that they can do to make the most of this YLAI Fellowship. So when we come back, we have our open discussion. Please stay with us.
I got the opportunity to meet these awesome people during YLAI, and I discovered many people that could help me with my business where I was at, and I would help them with their business and where they were at. And there was such like an exchange happening, which was extremely cool.
We're looking at startups as young as 19 years of age who've recently launched his business, and he really saw the benefit of the YLAI network and their courses.
We have helped women start their business from the idea to the project. So we was able to monitor, to mentor, and to keep track of the great work they have been doing. So those women with that opportunity was able to start their business, grow their business, and implement them.
Yeah, I remember Christine, she wanted to do a nonprofit where she would give like a gift basket to different youth that they can actually build something from it. And she was having a really hard time with knowing how to promote it and the design for it. What I tried to do is I coached her in actually how to promote it online to better access the people, the target market, and also to help her with her designs.
Back in Dominica, entrepreneurship is not widely recognized, and there are a lot of people that don't know about a lot of small businesses around the island. I also have Entrepreneurs Network, which I call 10767, the Entrepreneurs Network. So it's acronym 10, TEN, 767, which is our area code. So that is the aim for the network, to kind of bridge that gap and connect existing entrepreneurs with those who want to go into entrepreneurship, to kind of mix and mingle and to learn off of each other.
Okay, we are back, and now we're moving into our deeper discussion. So this particular segment, like I said, is a chance for our fellows to question the alumni. But just to kind of keep things on point, I will moderate the discussion. But of course, fellows, feel free to jump in if you have questions for the, aside from what I have, to ask as well, those burning questions. So here's a couple to get us started. So first of all, what was the most challenging part of the fellowship and how did you overcome it? So these are the types of, questions that we kind of have, but I want to leave it open so that our 2025 fellows can get the most of this discussion. So who would like to go first in terms of their question?
I can go first. The most challenging part is, to be honest, my experience was excellent. I'll just let you know that it was excellent. I was placed with the best possible choice for me. It was like I was placed with I lived there for so long. But the most challenging part for me was being away from my family. My son, I homeschool my son, and my son has literally been attached to my hip from the day he was born, and I homeschool him. So, yeah, so that was a bit challenging, and being away from my husband. So, how did I overcome that? Every single night, like clockwork, I would be on the phone with them on video call and speaking to them. So that helped a lot. I went up there with the mindset that I'm going to accomplish something. So in spite of me having that family dynamic with them, that I was going to achieve something for us. And I went up there with that mindset. So I prepared myself ahead of time. And I just remained focused and knew I had a goal. So that was the most challenging part for me.
Okay, awesome. And any of the 2025 fellows, do you have any questions for Miranda or Anja in terms of preparing for your fellowship?
Well, I was happy to have followed the return interview with you when they returned to Lucia. So this was a guide for me when you guys shared your experience fresh when you guys came back. At least I think it was a week later. So I could have seen the glow in your faces, the excitement, and Anja on the camera talking about how cold she was, ready to leave. So I was very much engaged, and I did take note because, as Miranda says, it's about your mindset. And Miranda has also been very helpful for me too, because she was one of my influencers pushing me to take the dream to the next level. And I believe everybody needs a friend like that. And I thank God for Miranda also being an alumna, that I already told her in advance. The way Miranda explained she did the trains and stuff, I'm gonna have on video call. I ain't gonna stay nowhere. So if we're gonna be doing any exchanges, they'll be surprised to see I have a backpack with a camera holding up, telling Miranda, right, left, right. You know, where do we go? How do we read this map?
You're taking Miranda with you.
You know,
You're going on a trip.
and she spoke about having some of the local apps to navigate. So I am very appreciative of their past experiences, and I think that video is gonna be my most watched on YouTube during my fellowship, just for the
Awesome.
support.
Awesome.
That's
And
good, Tanzania, but you also have direct access for additional support, so don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you, Anja.
yeah, so do any of our other 2025 fellows have any questions for our alumni? This is the open discussion, so the floor is yours. If not,
Okay,
then
so I
I
have
can
a
go to the next
question.
question. Yes, go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, I had to turn on my camera because the Wi-Fi was messing
Oh,
up
I
stuff. So
understand. Yeah.
yeah. So my question is, so I know we have to work with our organizations, our fellowship organizations from Monday to Thursday, and then Friday we have the pep group meetings. So on the weekend, what do we do? Like, what do you usually do, or what are we free to do? What, Anya?
On the weekend, you're
Like
free.
a bird, you're free.
The
I'm
weekend is the
free.
gold mine that you keep on mining. So
So
Yeah.
okay, hold on. So let me.
so you're free. You're free.
Okay,
You're off
You
the
can
hook.
even
You're free.
jump a state as
Yes.
long as
you
you
joking?
notify them.
Yeah,
You
you
could
just have
actually
to
go
notify them.
exploring.
So my
Wow.
recommendation
Okay.
to you is to do research on what
Yeah.
you want to do. So I love hiking. I went on several hikes, but then I
Wow.
went to visit other organizations that I wasn't paired with,
Nice.
but were valuable for my field. So
Nice.
I got to visit like Shelburne Estate, and then I just
Mm-hmm.
introduced myself, and they connected me to the persons who do their sustainability training, so I could actually become a trainer if I attend, like go back
Awesome.
to the US. And there were other models, CSA models, that I think is valuable for agriculture. So our city ambassador, Haley, she was amazing. So I would just reach out to her and tell her, do you have a contact at this organization? She's like, sure, I'll put
Yeah.
you in touch by email. So all I can say to you is dig deep, and as Brene
Yeah.
Brown would say, dare greatly, and start the
Yeah.
conversations. If you don't get a response for an email, find a number, find somebody
Yeah.
else who knows them, go to mixers, introduce yourself, go
Mm-hmm.
online, and figure out what
Mm-hmm.
you want to do so you can maximize your time. And the fascinating thing is, I did an activity once. So I went for a paid activity, and then I was looking at the guy and I was like, you need to come to St. Lucia and do this activity. And he's like, I do that. And you just never know where you'll make a connection. So go
True.
out there, and obviously you're free to do whatever you want, but I focused more on professional connections than social ones.
Yeah.
If you have a burning desire to go to a city or see something, like a few of the persons who were in Vermont with me, they drove over to Boston one weekend, and then another weekend they went to Niagara Falls.
Okay.
Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
But I would say to sit down and do some really strategic thinking so you can
Right.
maximize it. Because I can go to Canada anytime as a tourist, but
Yeah.
like the amount of time you have in the city where you can get persons to make connections for
Mm-hmm.
you, it
Mm-hmm.
even if the time is limited, you can start a
Mm-hmm.
foundation where you can reach out to these people. So I went to a mixer as well, and I
Mm-hmm.
just struck up conversations. So the Vermont Council had these mixers, and there was a
Okay.
gentleman who came from the military, and he put
Okay.
me on to apps that were beneficial for agriculture. And then I met somebody else who was like, I can assist with grant writing. and
Oh,
getting
awesome.
you in touch with organizations that, give specific grants. So
Okay.
I've just, you're in this new environment, take the leap,
Yeah.
start a conversation. You never know where you'll give somebody a solution or they'll give you
Mhm.
nuggets as well. So it's a gold mine.
I'm
Bring
so
your
excited.
shovels.
I can't wait.
And by shovels, I mean obviously your skills. And who was it?
Yes.
Who was the introvert? Berlina? I don't want to get this wrong.
That was Berlina.
Yeah, that
Berlina,
was
yes.
Berlina.
So Berlina, yes, you're gonna have to like jump. Oh, she's
Yeah.
already left the room. No, come
Yeah,
back.
Yeah,
she
she
had
said she's
she
away
had
from her
to
phone.
leave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Berlina is actually celebrating a birthday, so we need to wish Berlina happy birthday. She's
Oh,
celebrating,
happy
so
birthday.
we'll be celebrating her birthday. So I think we should sing happy birthday to her before we leave. I think it should be
Yeah.
only nice. Hi, Berlina. Welcome back.
So the one other thing I would say for you to consider, well, two things, is your budget, and also start thinking early about how like family business operations and all of these things are going to be managed while you're away.
Mhm.
I have a track record of leaving St. Lucia for anywhere from 4 weeks to a year and a half. So it was already ingrained in me. But you need
Mhm.
to really consider how life is going to continue for those 6 weeks. Your bills, your children, your animals, your farms, your kitchens, your tours. So really put some thought into that.
Yeah, awesome. Any other questions for our alumni?
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
My question is the living conditions, like sharing a space, because we were told that we would be sharing like a house with many different persons. Now somebody like me that's an introvert, I even with my family, I'm always in my room. Once you need me, just knock on my door, I'm in my room or I'm in the kitchen. So how I would say, like, because I don't like persons touching my things either. So I my question for is, how do you actually navigate that? Like, how do you deal with so many different personalities under the same roof? And conflicts will arise and stuff like that. How do you get over that?
Well, I'll start off with this one because Anya and I were lucky to be sharing sharing a space when we arrived in Texas. And
Okay.
did we
It
share a
was
space for 2 months?
horrible. I'm just kidding. Oh my God.
Come on,
I'm just
Anya.
kidding. It was great. Go on,
It
Miranda.
was great because listen, Anya is the how do you call it, organizer. So when we
Mhm.
arrived in the room, we had a discussion about who sleeps where. Would you
Mhm.
prefer by the window?
Mhm.
Like, it was really organized. It's just communication.
It's setting
Um,
up boundaries, basically.
yeah, that's what it is. So don't be afraid to set boundaries. Don't be afraid to speak up because,
Mhm.
in as much as it may be uncomfortable to you or the other person, but setting that boundary actually helps you understand the person that you're actually living with, and it actually prevents conflict. So
Yeah.
if you're going to be living in a space with many people, you can speak about food and boundaries, what you like, what you don't like, put a list together, and it sets the tone. Because if somebody other people are not that way, they will take a note out of your notebook,
Mhm.
so to speak. Yeah. Anything to add, Anya?
Yeah, so Berlin, this is like life school. Um, there's nothing we can tell you to prepare you 100% for your experience. So it depends when you get to your first city, you'll definitely be sharing with somebody. So when we got to Texas, Miranda and I arrived together, so it's likely that they'll pair the St. Lucians together again, as there are 3 or 4 of you. And that part, like Miranda said, I just thought it was easier to just bring it up, have the conversation, and be like, do you want this desk, or do you want like the couch, or just share. And obviously, when there was only one of us in the room, we you have the freedom of putting the TV on, whatnot. But it's just to be a responsible adult and have the conversation. But I heard of some horrible experiences, and that's the fact of life. Sometimes personalities don't get on. Our experience with Miranda and I worked for us, but there are stories where, so for me, when I got to Vermont, we each had our own suite, but there's a chance that you'll get a whole house and everybody will have their individual room when you're in your host city. But you may have shared spaces, so you might have to share the kitchen and you might have to share the common area. And in those cases, it's a fact of life. I went to boarding school. You may put your name on your food or have a cupboard for your designated food. It doesn't stop somebody from coming and taking it. So these experiences, that's why I say it's life school. You have to speak to your family, your friends, your colleagues, your advisors, and if you cannot handle the situation, to get help in how to approach the situation if there is conflict. But I do wish you all the best. And the golden rule for me is, treat others how you'd want to be treated. And for me, with Miranda, setting the boundaries, it was like, okay, I want to respect you and your preferences. So let's have a conversation and see, do you have a preference of where you sleep? And like, do you want to get up at the same time? And it's much easier to have a conversation, I find, than to be suffering in silence. But again, I do wish you the best. And I would say, take each moment as it comes as well.
Yes, I too had my own suite. My host city was Washington D.C., and I think the placement is based on the accommodations that they could receive at the time, and of course budget. So as Anja said, it's life school. It's life school, and you get to learn and get to grow in that aspect.
Yeah, and
The bonus
every
curriculum.
experience is different, but it's also a learning experience. It teaches you how to it teaches you basically the personalities of other persons that you encounter. There are, cultural shock effects that you'll get because certain things that persons are accustomed to, inhabit, they will do it. And as Anja said, the best thing to do is to have a conversation, likes and dislikes, prefer and non-preferences. You need to make sure you set the foundation for expectations. And as professionals, that's actually expected, that you would have that initial discussion when everybody comes together on that very first evening. It is actually encouraged that we have a discussion to decide on what we plan to do. Because in my year, even though we did not share spaces, we each had our own hotel room. We had a discussion on, in terms of using grocery shopping and economizing, maximizing on different things that we were purchasing in order to save money. So we had a discussion together as a group to decide, okay, since we noticed that we're going to be here for about 4 weeks, the laundry detergent is, yale big. It would not make sense for each of us to have our own laundry detergent. So someone would volunteer and be like, okay, I'll purchase a laundry detergent and we all share it. And likewise, other items that would last for long periods of time. Another person would say, okay, well, I will purchase this and we will share it. I will purchase this and we will share it. So it was a conversation that we had, and we had an agreement on who would do what. And when we did that, we all met together when we were doing the laundry. And we had a literal conversation and had a good time while washing our clothes. You kind of have to make a moment out of every little thing. You get to learn about each other through those little interactions. You get to understand the boundaries of people, and you get to also have an appreciation for others as well. So it was a really good learning experience for me to understand that even as adults, there are things that will affect us. Even as adults, there are things that may annoy us, but it's just a matter of coming to a common understanding. And the only way to do that is very, very, very clear communication and being very transparent. So Anya is very correct when it comes to that. And on the topic of activities during the week, Monday to Thursday, we were at our placement. On Friday, we met together as a group and we decided on various activities. So aside from the trainings and so on that we did, we went to various places like the library, lawyers' offices, schools, networking spaces, and so on. But then aside from that, our cultural ambassadors took us out to various places. They would ask us, where would you like to visit? Or have you done any research? Are there any places that you saw that you'd like to go to? They would ask, these kinds of questions. So having a plan in mind of where you would like to visit would also be ideal, so that when you get there, you can just put all of that into action and understand how would you get there? Would you need an Uber? Would you need a Lyft? Do you need to take a train? Or would it be more economical to ride the bus? These are other things that you have to look at as well and see what works best for you based on the activities that you want to take part in. For some of them, they were in walking distance. So it didn't require me, to take transportation for most of the times. And other times, the cultural ambassador actually opted to come pick me up at the hotel and take me to different places. So that also saved me, money in terms of spending, getting to meet her and so on. And she took me to places that I wanted to go, places that I had seen on television and wanted to visit. So that was her priority, making sure that I enjoyed my stay and making sure that I had a very memorable time. And that's what the cultural ambassadors do. And there were, I think, 2 individuals in my group. One specifically, she was into fashion, and she really wanted to attend. I think it was some fashion week that was happening in a different state. So all she did, she made that request in advance that she wanted to attend that fashion week, and she got the okay. And she traveled out of state to attend the fashion week, and she said that was the best experience of her life. She got connected with a designer that she was dying to get connected with, and that really boosted her business to the point where they decided to collaborate on a show together. So these are the type of opportunities that you have access to. All you have to do is just let them know in advance what you would like to do, and they can try their best to accommodate you. For me, I didn't travel too far. I went to Kansas. So Kansas City, Missouri is not the same thing as Kansas, something that I learned. So I drove all the way with my with one of the persons that I met from the church to Kansas, and they took me to Target. And at the time they were having, I think it was Halloween time, or I believe, was it Halloween? I think it was. And there was a sale. Everywhere had a sale. And it was their pleasure to take me shopping. So they took me shopping, and she had a card for everything. And she used her card, we used coupons. And by the time I was done, I had literally like a garbage bag full of clothes for my children. And I only paid $60. Only paid $60. So I went back with a full suitcase with just clothes and clothes and clothes because I went shopping in a different state. Another thing that I got to experience was hail. I had never seen hail in my life, and I was able to spot a tornado in the distance. I'm like, wait, is that a tornado? And my God, like I actually experienced what a funnel looked like about to touch ground. And we drove out of that area. Thankfully, we drove out of that area, but I mean, the hail caught us, but thankfully, no damage. So that was another experience that I had that was again very, very memorable, and it was fun. It was fun for me. Things like that excite me. So it was a lot of fun. So at this time, what I'm going
Can
to do
I,
is to ask,
can I just
especially.
make one comment? Michelle?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Anya.
With, as you said, the laundry detergent. So with our hotel, they actually gave free laundry detergent.
Oh,
So it
nice.
just reminded me to get you guys to ask for help, ask questions, find out what's complimentary before. Also, in our hotel, breakfast was complimentary.
Yes, ours as
So
well.
before you go out and buy tons of groceries for breakfast, the first day just do a little shop to get you through, and then get the lay of the land before you start spending
And
money where it's not necessary.
I
Yeah, it
also
was
had a
the same in my
question.
case.
I had a
go
question
ahead.
on time management. As a chef, I work best under pressure because the kitchen is always, a high pressure place. So with the modules in Conver and stuff, how did you guys, like, when you reach in the before you arrived in the US, you being here working on your business and stuff, how did you guys get through that? Like working on Conver, and then when you get to the US whilst going to your FPOs and stuff like that, how were you able to designate time to do that? Because right now I'm working on Canva, but then I start, and then I either get bored, fall asleep, or I go in the kitchen and do something and I say, thick. And then when it's like a few days before, then you would see me in the laptop, turn it on, take my notebook, and then boom, bam, bang, I do it, do all my assignments, send it in. And I always say that because I also do that a lot for customer orders. Like if a customer has a cake, like me, as my birthday is on Saturday, I have not baked my birthday cake. My birthday cake will be baked tomorrow, baked in the morning and decorated in the night. Because like for me, I work best under pressure. But then I'm saying, like, if I'm able to manage my time better, I would present and actually do much better work. But then I just cannot seem to get into the gist of it. So like, just give me some tips on how do y'all do that? Like, how do you manage your time? How would I get out of this always working best under pressure scenarios, circumstances?
Okay, so I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna start first with this one. It's you. You have to change your. You have to commit to changing that pattern because it's a pattern that you've developed. That one of the things that my business offers is business automation with tools as well. So that's one of the things that services that I recently added to my services. And Anya, Anya is a more yes, Anya is a more um, hands-on person. She loves the board, and I like that about her. She likes the board. She and actually took that into my own management of time.
What
I
board
write
are you
stuff.
talking about, Miranda?
Don't deny
My
it.
my 8 whiteboard.
Yes, yes. So even if you don't have 8 whiteboards
You'll
like
be
Anya,
you'll be proud of me. I'm tech savvy now. Everything is
you
on the
see, you see what I
drive.
mean. You see what I
Everything is on the
mean.
drive.
Yes, so that's one of the things I kept telling her. You could use tools, and she
Mhm.
rubbed off on me. I rubbed off on her. But one of the key things that I took from her is that sometimes you have to write it down to visualize it. And there are plenty of tools that you could use. And as I said, this is one of the services I offer in my business: automation and tools and project management tools as well. So you could do it. It's just commitment, commitment, and setting basically timers for yourself. I must admit that I was almost the same way as you, waiting until last minute to do stuff because yes, I do get bored. I'm a visionary. I always start something and then when to finish it, it's something very, very difficult to finish. But what YLAI has taught me is that in as much as you are a visionary, there are other aspects that you can build on. And getting to know so many different people, you get to learn different things that you could actually do. So this is an experience that will actually help you when you go into YLAI. You might come out and then you may be someone that is a timekeeper. Yes.
I find, well, going through YLAI, I realized like the balance between organization and strategy and setting deadlines and sticking to them. So it's a great part of the journey to step back and look at yourself objectively and be like, okay, this works, this works, but it's not really healthy or it's not as effective because um, sometimes you could wait to the last moment, you could get it done, but if you had done it a day earlier, you might have actually found an interest that you researched a bit more and you got something else out of that. So it's a great time for a bit of reflection and journaling and assess yourself where you are based on compared to where you would like to be and develop a strategy to help you get there using tools as well as creating new habits for yourself. There are times where the best laid plans don't work out. So Miranda is right. I am a planner, but there comes a point where you have to look and see if the plan's not working, then something else has to change. And one thing for me is I tend to run over my time. I'll be like, okay, I'll spend 10 to 2 on Saturday doing this, and then it'll be 4 o'clock and I'm still on it. So you have to, figure out where your strengths and your weaknesses are that you can edit them. So it's like, then the next thing on my list won't get done because the first one overran. So I find setting deadlines, and I'm not sure if you can convince yourself, even though YLAI says it's due on the 14th, if you convince yourself it's due on the 10th, maybe it'll allow you to do another project. Because there are some places where there are modules, but then there's additional work to be done. So you have to figure out a formula that works for yourself. That's the unfortunate truth.
Can I add something? I understand what Berlina is saying because I before having my business, I was very much like that as well. But since starting my business, I realized that two things. One, Berlina, you need to ask yourself because some people work better under pressure. Now, am I saying that it's the right thing? No. For me, I'm saying for me, I find I work better under pressure, right? But what you need to ask yourself is, do you feel flustered when you are in that state? Does it make you uncomfortable? Does it make you stressed? Does it make you, if it's feeling like it's stressful waiting last minute to do something, then that means you need to change it, right? So that could mean some people work well under pressure. It's the day before or whatever, and they just tell themselves, okay, for this I have the time today, I'm just going to focus on doing this, and they're fine doing it, and that's okay because everybody works differently. But if you find that you're not coping, you're stressing out, you're panicking because you waited all that time and now you're doing it, then you need to find another strategy. So what that means is now you have to discipline yourself, right? So it could be something simple as, okay, find a time throughout the day, because all of us are working and all of us have families and stuff to do. Find one time throughout the day, whether it be for a half an hour, it could be 15 minutes, right? If you take time to do the one topic a day, right, for 15 minutes, or 3 topics a week for 15 minutes or half an hour, then you will see that by the time it comes closer to the deadline that you'd probably be already finished, right? So you have to map out, understand who you, and that's where it comes to understanding who you are, right? And being honest with yourself. if you need to have a conversation. Okay, Berlina, you know that the deadline is coming and you're gonna be stressed. So you need to come up with a different plan that will work. Right? So that's what I would say. And as Anja and Miranda said, use tools. If you're not a techie person, as Anja used to do, she used to use her boards. That's fine. Use your boards, use a calendar, use something to help you track your progress. Okay, I hope
The
that
thing
helps.
with Yes, that was very good. Yeah, I appreciate the tips. But then the thing with me, it's not that it stresses me. No, the thing with it is that it's the answers don't come. What I want, like me for me, like when I have to bake, I need to get into a specific mood so that the baking comes out good. Because if I just get up and I say, "Oh, I have a customer order, please let me go and bake," it won't come
Yeah,
out good. The bake will come out flat like a lullaby. It won't rise because I'm not in that mood for baking. But
yeah,
for me is okay, I have this assignment to do and I have like the assignment is due in April. All
right.
now I have February, March, April, beginning of April to do it. The answers don't come at all. But as soon as the ending of March reach and the assignment is due on April 1st, all the answers come the night before the assignment is due. That is my issue.
Well, the answers come before the
Yes,
deadline, so you don't have a problem then.
I know, right?
exactly.
I mean,
I was about to say that because if the answers are coming, the answers are
you
coming at the
don't
right
have a
time.
choice.
There's something
So
called the
you
11th
might
hour.
you might just be okay. So like I got shortlisted last night. I took all the answers from the Google Doc onto another document, and I'm just drafting my answers. It's due on Monday, but because I've started drafting my answers, as I'm going about doing mindless chores, I'm getting ideas. I open my phone,
Right.
I add it to the document.
Yeah.
So I know on Sunday I have a framework. I just need to
Mhm.
edit each paragraph, copy and paste back into the document. I'm done. That's
That's it.
that's me. Because
Mhm.
I know myself, like most people will open their phone to go on social media. 90% of the time, me opening my phone is to update my calendar or my
Mhm.
drive, because on the drive I have different documents for different things. The businesses, I own two companies, I manage a third. There needs to be structure so it doesn't all become chaos. And you need to look at yourself. And I bake as well. I get the baking. There are things which allow for a mood, but then there are other things like with assignments. Jordann said it. The first day, 15 minutes, read the assignment. The second day, draft the assignment. The third day, add a few points as they come up while you're doing other things. The fourth day, you might find, that, oh, I need to research something. It's life. You can't get to the end from the beginning. You have to go through the process, assess the situation, assess yourself, and then evolve so you can every day be better and better. We're never perfect, but with time and reflection and awareness, you do improve. And that's coming from somebody who still doesn't understand how she got into YLAI. But that's how we are. We're very judgmental and critical, but we need to give ourselves credit that we're not an imposter. We worked to get ourselves here, and through every day and every experience, we find better ways to navigate different situations, as well as becoming more efficient in the activities that we do. So keep going, Berlina. It's just another step, another growth experience, another big life school, and be open to the experiences. But keep challenging yourself and going. Congratulations again, ladies.
Thank
You are,
you. I just
you are
wanted to tell Belina
teaching.
one thing before I leave, but I'm here to tell you that entrepreneurship has its highs and lows, and you won't just be a student, you're going to be a business owner. So these skills that they're giving you is going to help manage your mental well-being. That's one of the most serious things, because you might be saying you're working under pressure, but it's not until your body says or your mental says, I want that break, you're not going to push me to that limit. So before you allow yourself to get to the level, eat the frog first. Take on your task in the early. Because for me, while everybody in YLAI, the night of, I was getting calls to assist with the first part with the RCA. They hosted a meeting. And I'm like, why is everybody saying join the call for support at almost midnight, on the night of? And we had end of November, we had December, and then by January 10th, you still had a large mass crowd. So I'm like, it's all about priority and your discipline. It's how bad you really want the opportunity because I was still compelled to being who I am by giving support regardless to as many people as I could that night because they didn't understand. Although they said everyone has to speak English, I believe with the other languages, when they read our dialect, for them, the adjective maybe comes before the noun and pronoun. So, it's a lot for them. So I observed that because it was coming from the majority of the Spanish speaking ones. And I was telling them that this will bring a toll on them because I'm doing my best to balance things out. And this is a place where you saying yes, you do work great under pressure. And everybody loves that bit of adrenaline drive. But I believe as I'm maturing in my professional life, business life, and having to do it back to back, Berlina, I'm telling you, and you being a parent, a wife full time, you have to break them down. It's for your own well being. And we're here to support you. I'm actually happy you shared it because it still happens to me sometimes, but I start taking charge of it from last year. I decided that I can't. And what happened was I finished up my stuff by the first week in December. So could you imagine while everybody's rushing and fussing, I already did my RCA. All I had to do was go back and watch it if I anything came to mind. But I'm like, I'm already done. You know, I can go back and edit. I had that privilege, while everybody's just in the starting line, I'm in the finish already, and I have that open gap to get better at it. And some of the persons, when they asked you to express other things personal to YLAI, I was telling them about my finding balance mission. And the officer called, we had a video chat, and he was just telling me added reasons as to why it shouldn't be the case. And they're going to be putting persons there to work with us in this cohort to help us with that part. And they're focusing on our mental health this YLAI session because they realize, I think, that a lot of people are working at their edge to their limits and they don't want us withering away. So I was really happy to hear that they would have on board counselors, mentors to guide us and help us just understand we can't say we're good at working last minute because a lot of things can happen. Could you imagine if you're a mother with several children and last minute you're having to do the cake and that Friday you're in a hospital? That afternoon, you cannot go. Now you're sick too. So, saying that you do not know what tomorrow holds. So, if you could use the power of now to your benefit, because you telling yourself you're aware that you're literally leaving it behind because you choose you've already told your brain that it's programmed in your psychographic. You would have to do some reprogramming, and that's okay to look like a beginner because I'm a beginner. Okay, but I'm
Yeah.
happy you shared.
Tanzi, thank you so much for sharing that. Before you leave, I would like you to please share your final words with us before you leave, especially put a plug in for your upcoming events, especially for those persons who will be watching the replay of this session.
Well, for me, I would just like to say that I'm happy that we had this session today. And hearing from Miranda and Anja and yourself, Michelle, just reassured me that just like when you're giving birth to a baby, the experience is different for everyone, even if I was in the same labor room with 10 women.
Mhm.
So I'm particularly thrilled about the potential to develop my innovative strategies and forge these impactful partnerships. And I'm happy, Belinda, you're going to be in my um, host city. So I would definitely love to connect some more. And I would tell anyone who's watching today to keep following SLUDTERA. Look at the YLAI page directly and all the alumnus, because there are different businesses that could actually help complement your business. And Startup Hurdle St. Lucia is a hub where it brings in some of the alumnus and majority of startups. So it's okay that if you're a beginner and you're trying to scale your business to a global level, that our team, which includes Miranda as my co-lead, to let you guys know while we're putting in structure, it's only so that we can help you, the startups, organize your businesses that it meets the market standards of a global clientele investors, because Miranda already has the experience and she's helping me. And I believe that collaboratively, persons don't want to collaborate, but I believe that leadership also has collaborative leadership involved, that you could never be the best in every field. And I learned that even though my strength is in marketing, mine is more towards the leadership. So I'm not the planner, and I learned that. So collaborative leadership exist in any field. So this is the honest truth, and Startup Hurdle is a safe space where you can be open and honest and be able to be a beginner is fine. I'm here to tell you, when I learned what Oprah and all the others were making out of their ventures with their name branded, Oprah has 5%. I was like, I need to start thinking like an enterprise owner where my business runs without me, and whether or not it has my name, I want to eat a piece of that check for a couple billions, I'm willing to take 5 to 20%. If the collaborative leadership and partnerships would get the job done and scaling and being sustainable, then Lord, here Tanzi comes, hashtag YLAI 2025.
Amen to that. And Tanzi, I want to again say thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for accepting the call for applying for YLAI. Thank you. YLAI needed somebody like you. There's always somebody like Tanzi that YLAI needs, and I'm glad you accepted the call this time around. And can you please share when your next when your next Startup Huddle event is going to be held, please?
It's going to be on February 19th, and we're going to have some amazing speakers like Natalie John, Kamala Ambrose, and Patricia Tonji Edgin, president of Atlanta Caribbean Carnival. It's going to be focused around finding balance, work ethics, and planning. So I believe that for persons like Berlina, myself, and many others who may still be beginners and bloomers in this area, there's a lot to learn from these experienced veterans, especially a St. Lucian like Natalie John, who's been able to scale her business to the level that she's in almost every Caribbean island. She shared a story at the Youth Economy talking about how her business went from her being an employee to going to learn to be the master, and now she offers everything. So I believe that youth economy and being in YLAI Startup Huddle showed me even more the importance of having these collaborations and meaningful networks that today these people can now pour into the youth even more. And we're able to share, Belina. So be there to join. And maybe Natalie, John, you just never know who your person that you have to connect with is. Just be open.
Thank you so very much, Tanzi, for sharing with us. We bid you a very good night. Say good night to Tanzi, everyone. And Anja, let's hear from you because I know that you have to leave. So let's hear from you.
Yes. What would you like to hear from me? Say it out.
Do you have any parting words for our fellows? And do you have anything up and coming that you would like to share?
For the fellows, congratulations. Again, be open-minded and strong and courageous. Do your best and ask for support and help when you need it. You're never alone. You'd be surprised how many angels are out there. So never suffer in silence. And all the best. And I hope to hear from all of you when you're back. As for me, we're carrying on down here. It's a new year. As always, we'll be at Helen's Daughter's Farmers Market this Saturday at the Aquatic Center. Food Harmony is continuing to develop vegan baked goods and exploring how we can preserve more of St. Lucia's produce to help with eating healthier on island and farming more sustainably. But on the other side, the tours have launched. Wonder in Nature is now offering tours of the property, so you can check out the website. It's www.wonderinature.com. That's WONDERNIN nature.com. So if you want to come and connect with us, or if you want to collaborate, just reach out to me.
Okay, so Anja, if you not mind, please just ensure that you type that into the chat so that I can copy and paste it into the comment box. So anybody who is watching after the event has ended can still get that information. So again, I want to thank you so very much, Anja, for sharing your insight, for joining us this evening. And, good luck on, your initiative and everything else that you are doing post YLAI. So again, thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. We'll catch up soon. All the best to you.
Awesome. So let's hear from Miranda. Miranda, your parting words and anything that you have coming up.
Okay, so I'd like to say again, big congratulations to all of you for making it this year into YLAI 2025. It's the anniversary year, it's the 10-year anniversary. So y'all are going to be getting everything big this year. Yes. So it's a celebration year. So they're pulling all stops for you guys. Yes, I wish you all the best, all the success. I know it's going to be transformative for you. Take it all in. Don't forget to research where you want to go. Visit all the sites that you have to. Go to all the business mixers that you have to and make your connections. What do I have happening right now? So we're just launching our digital transformation and strategy packages. They include digital transformation services, small business automation and efficiency, training, knowledge management and solutions. So all of these things we are having right now is about to be launched. So you could visit my website, www.tektronites.com, and you will follow us on social media at Tektronites on both Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn for when we launch. So look out, we have some interesting packages available for small businesses. Looking to see if I could get small businesses assigned to packages for free. So all of these things are coming up. So look out on our social media pages and follow us so that you could keep up to the updates. Thank you.
So very much, Miranda. Can you please put that information in the chat as well so that I can copy and paste it into the comment box for persons who will be viewing the session afterwards. Again, thank you so much, Miranda, for joining us and for sharing your insight. And we bid you farewell and good night. And now we're going to hear from Jordann. Jordann, can you please share with us a bit of final words and also what's coming up for you?
Yes, so my final words are to encourage persons who are thinking about applying to be a YLAI Fellow the next time around when applications open. If you have an initiative or business, I think it would be a good opportunity for you to make use of this opportunity. I mean, we have not even gotten to the fellowships yet, like where we're placed in the US yet, and I'm already having such good experiences, and I'm sure the other fellows would agree. So that's one thing I would leave with. Um, and yeah, that's basically it. Moving forward for me, I have a lot of growth to do this year with EcoFood. What I do notice is that every year EcoFood gets to another level, right? Last year was one of our breakthrough years, and then this year I'm seeing as if it's kind of becoming so overwhelming that I have to make certain decisions in the business to kind of evolve more. So, and I really think that YLAI is definitely going to help me with that, which is why I'm so excited about being a part of the fellowship. So yeah, if you follow us on our social media platforms, especially LinkedIn, I'm gonna put my LinkedIn profile in the chat, and hopefully Michelle can share that. Just stay to follow us there, follow us on Facebook, so that you can see our growth and our progress. We have some projects that we want to launch this year. One of them is our school feeding initiative. We originally had our Like a Chef program, which we started 2 years ago. And since then, we have provided sustainable culinary training to almost 70 St. Lucians. And we've impacted young children, helping them, garner a better relationship with food, teaching them about eating more plant-based foods, not wasting foods, and we basically like opened that up to our almost 500 children so far. So it's just a matter of this year building on that and merging our Like a Chef program with our school feeding program that we're looking to launch as well this year. So we have a lot going on, and I'm looking forward to what the year has to hold. I'm gonna put my contact number in the chat, 732-7179, and my email address. So that's it for me.
Okay, awesome. So Jay, I want to thank you so much for sharing this information. Are you sure you want to share your contact number?
Yeah, it's my business number, so it's fine.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, not a problem. So I'll be sharing that in the comment section. So again, I want to thank you so much for sharing your excitement, for the fellowship and what you have been experiencing so far, and also what is up and coming for your business as it grows. So I want to again thank you for joining us this evening, and I bid you a wonderful good night. And again, congratulations on being
Thank you
selected.
so much. Thank you so much, Michelle. Berlina, good night.
Good night. Good night.
All right, so Berlina, let's hear from you. It's your turn. Any final words from you, and what can we expect from you?
Um, well, what can you expect from me? I'm looking forward to, scaling my business, rebranding, putting St. Lucia cuisine on the map. It has already started with Chef Nina Compton. And, I'm looking to carry that baton and taking it to the finish line. So for now, it's just, looking at where we started, where we're going, taking part in this YLAI program. And I want to say thank you so much, because it was through you and the programs that you started after YLAI that you introduced me and many other St. Lucian entrepreneurs to YLAI. And I just want to take this time to say thank you so much for introducing us to that, and for, bringing these opportunities to St. Lucia, where now, because I believe the entrepreneurship, St. Lucia is rich in entrepreneurship. It's just that persons do not have the not the, I wouldn't say the skills, but the proper networks to take their program off the ground. So thank you for that, and I really do appreciate it.
Yes, and you are very welcome. God be praised. You're very welcome, Belina. And again, I saw the potential in you from day one, and I just knew you were destined to be big. I mean, I'm looking at your profile picture now, and you already look like a master chef. You already look like a master chef, and you just have to claim it in Jesus' name. Just know that after this fellowship, you are going to become a master chef, and just keep telling yourself that.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So again, I want to ask that you share any details about you, your how persons can connect with you. Just share that in the chat, and I will of course post that in the comments so that persons can reach out to you if they would like to connect with you. So again, congratulations on being selected for the fellowship. I cannot wait to see, what you bring to the table. I can't wait to hear them talk about you and,
Awesome.
in amazement on what you bring to the table. So again, have a good night, Berlina. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay.
Awesome. And I do apologize, Berlina, if I cut you off there. I do apologize. So Berlina will be sharing I will be sharing Berlina's information very shortly for those of you who would like to connect with her. I will be sharing that shortly, and I will also be sharing the links to the opportunities, the programs that I shared earlier in the conversation. I will be sharing the links to those opportunities. So please, if you are interested in any of them, please just go to each link and read about them, and please share. It is our mandate to share good news. Okay, so don't hold it all to yourself. Share the opportunities so that others can take advantage of them as well. So we've had a really incredible evening, albeit long. It was meaningful and it was beneficial to everyone who either participated or is watching. Hearing from our talented fellows and the alumni, I am so proud of the work that they're doing to represent St. Lucia on the global stage. I really am proud of each and every one of them. I know that some of you were probably wondering, wasn't there supposed to be one other speaker? And you're correct. We were supposed to have Mr. Keeghan Patrick, the owner of Riftbid, present with us, but he could not make it. And so I am going to ask that you go onto the social media pages, look for Riftbid. I will be putting the information into the comments so that you can take a look at the wonderful work that they're doing. To our viewers, if you're considering applying for YLAI in the future, I encourage you to take the leap. I highly encourage you, as someone who took the leap herself. And as you heard from Miranda and Anja, the experience is phenomenal. This program is a life-changing opportunity, not only to grow as a leader and an entrepreneur, but also to grow as a person. If you are not eligible to participate, because some of you may be saying, what if I didn't make the cut? What if I was not selected? What if I am not within the age range? That's okay. You can actually join the YLAI network and you can connect with other like-minded individuals across Latin America, Canada, and the Caribbean. Watch the next video that I'll be putting on the screen to learn more. Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight, and thank you to all our fellows and alumni. Do not forget to subscribe to SLUDTERA's YouTube channel for more updates and opportunities. And I invite you to also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and also on LinkedIn. To everyone watching, to everyone who would look at the replay, I bid you a good night, a good day, wherever you're joining us from. I really do hope and pray that you take the leap and you join YLAI. It has been a pleasure serving you. The next St. Lucians for YLAI session that is going to be hosted will be on the return of our fellows from the US. So look forward to that. Yes, when they return, we will be featuring them again so that they can share with you what the experience was like compared to what they anticipated versus what actually happened. So I am looking forward to welcoming Jordann, Berlina, and also Tanzania and Keeghan back on their return so that they can share their journey with us so that we can understand what it was really like. So again, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining. Have a blessed night. God bless.
What do you need to transform your career goals into reality? You need the YLAI Network.
You guys are awesome. I'm forever grateful for being a part of this network, which has changed my life and my confidence.
What is the YLAI Network? Your connection to an abundance of resources. There are so many valuable tools, such as online courses, training videos, toolkits, discussion guides, blogs, and workbooks. That is the YLAI Network, and it's all available at ylai.state.gov.
Very proud to be a part of this.
The YLAI Network gives members the means to grow as entrepreneurs and improve their communities.
This is a call to you, young leaders of Latin America, the Caribbean, and Canada. It's your chance to develop your skills, expand your business, and network with leaders and with your peers. It's a way for you to enhance your knowledge, your economic opportunities, and your future. When you join the YLAI Network, you'll get regular updates on new initiatives, opportunities, and information created specifically for young leaders. You can engage on social media and join important discussions that affect your community. You can use all of these digital resources to expand your entrepreneurial potential and create a brighter future. By joining the YLAI Network, you gain access to all the benefits. You can expand your skills and connect with fellow leaders working to create change in their communities. The YLAI Network empowers you to achieve and succeed. Don't wait for change. Create it. To learn more about the YLAI Network and to become a member, go to ylai.state.gov.